Now, one of the other more interesting parts of the chart that I want to mention, and we'll go back to Saturn again since we seem to be here, is we can see that Saturn is right next to another planet, and you might recognize the trident, and that's Neptune. Now we know what Saturn's job is, and so let's talk about what Neptune's job is. On the positive side of Neptune, we have the arts, we have music, we have forgiveness, we have spiritual connections and intuition. Okay, we have all of those things. On the negative side of Neptune, Neptune's job, we call him the great deceiver. Okay, because he will often keep secrets, and that could be a positive thing, like someone who has a security clearance, or a negative thing. In his case, it was definitely a negative thing. And the Neptune connection is very important for this chart, not only because we know how many secrets were going on, or we're figuring it out, but also because Neptune obscures. Okay? I want you to think of Neptune as the boundless ocean. When Neptune gets involved in a chart, he tends to obscure, he tends to hide things, he tends to make focus a lot more difficult. Okay? And when he's connected to Saturn, that connection is not particularly easy because it can mean that the person may have trouble seeing those boundaries, even as positive as a Saturn as we have in this chart with Neptune right next door. It can be very difficult for someone to see boundaries. It can also be a lot easier for someone to keep secrets. That's for certain. And it can be very difficult for someone with Saturn and Neptune to focus on long-term goals. Again, in this case, we have Saturn in Libra, so it was probably a little easier than most for him. But honestly, when you put Saturn and Neptune together, it can be quite challenging. Now, one of the other ways that this chart could have possibly gone, with Saturn and Neptune together in the 9th house, the 9th house is also the house of publishing. And so had our subject decided to write a book, that probably would have been a great outlet for the energy. Neptune is the creator, Saturn is the editor. Okay? As someone who has Saturn-Neptune opposed, I can tell you that writing can be difficult because you create and with Neptune, and then Saturn says, no, I don't like it. No one will buy it. No one will care. There's that inner editor that can come out. But had he chosen to go that way, he probably could have written a pretty good book. Also in the 9th house, again, as I mentioned, there's that spiritual side. And the 9th house has that spiritual side as part of its makeup. And so had he chosen to develop his intuitive sense, and I don't know if he honestly did that or not, but I'm guessing no, he could have really been a very well-connected person to spirit. And so with these two together, they can be a powerful combination, but they can also be a very difficult combination to work with on a day-to-day basis.